right, we are 1 week before Christmas. It is 2023. It does not look like Christmas anywhere. I picked up my brand new boat this week in Wapaka. It is a Wenonah Prism. It is my new boat. You can see it's got a little graphite paint on it. That was from the guy that I bought it from. Drove all the way to Wapaka this week, picked it up. 7-hour round trip. Oh, it's missing the prism sticker on the back. All right. So because you can see the stuff is frozen everywhere, but hopefully you can see this. I don't know. I've got it on my head. Anyway, we're going to take out Ryder, Wenonah Ryder. That is the boat. Thank you, Haley Marcon, for her first spin. I found some open water today out by the Blackbrook Dam. Not a lot, so we're going to give her a spin. Blackbrook Dam. Original trip coming up. A little bit of ice, not too bad. It's the last day of goose hunting, so the geese will be afraid, I'm sure. But it looks to me like we should be able to paddle this sucker. We'll find out. Make sure there's no ice or we're walking like that. That would get wet and cold real quick. All right. Here we go. All right, step number one is this thing has foot pegs in it, and those have got to be changed. Foot pegs have got to be longer. Upstream of the Apple River. I brought a kayak paddle and my canoe paddle. I always would prefer to be with a canoe paddle. So this is a Wenonah Prism. It looks like the boat was built in 2008. And the fella I got it from in Wapaka, he got it from Sawbill Outfitters north of Tofty on Sawbill Lake. Now Corona, my original canoe, my first canoe, who I still have, obviously she's a tandem, so 2 people canoe in that. But she came from Sawtooth Outfitters, which is really close to Sawbill. Sawtooth is right off Highway 61, Sawbill. You go up the Sawbill Trail from Tofty, and it's on the entry point at the Boundary Waters. So they're kind of cousins, but anyhow, that's where he got it from. It was an outfitter's canoe. It has been well loved. which means there's a lot of scratches in it. So you can see kind of but whatever, they're just cosmetic. And I'm going to spend the spring, once it gets warm enough to mess with it, I'm going to refurbish it. But underneath, he painted it with some graphite paint just to help protect it a little bit. There are 0 holes in it, 0 structural issues at all. And I got it for an absolute steal. Like 20% of a new Prism. It's the same Prism they build today. This is a UL, so it weighs about 30, maybe 35 pounds. It's pretty light. And, but yeah, it's a Kevlar. And the reason I got this, people wonder, well, how many canoes do you have or do you need? Well, I do have another Solo Canoe. That's Katniss. She is a 12-footer, and she's a pack boat. So she's great because she's made out of Royal X, so she can hit rocks. You know, she's pretty much indestructible. The problem is she's also not made for big water. So she's great on like this out here on the Apple River. She'd be just fine. But she's very, very susceptible to wind and very slow because she's so short. So if you get out in some big waves, it's just she's not meant for that. This canoe is almost 17 feet long. And it's light, and it is a flat bottom as opposed to having a hull, so it moves a lot faster. It's made for bigger water, bigger waves. It's made to carry a lot more gear. So this one is really meant to, you know, so I could take to the boundary waters and do solo trips just significantly easier, a lot more flexibility on the water. So that's why we have her here, and she was just a heck of a deal. So I had originally wanted to, and I'd paddled, you know, several times when I've rented. I've paddled Northwind Solos, which is just beautiful. I've paddled a Northwind Magic, and it's just a gorgeous boat as well. And I had my heart set. I mean, I've been looking for a long time for one of these, and I had my heart set really on a Northwind Solo, which is really what I wanted. But then last fall, when I went up to Ely on one of my solo trips, the Spirit of the Wilderness didn't have their Northwind. All they had was a Prism. So I'm like, all right, I can do that. So I took the Prism out and paddled it around Burnside Lake, which is a really big lake, and that's where I went on the trip into those areas. Anyway, I'm like, there's really not a whole lot of difference here. It might turn a little bit slower, but it's this boat I loved. So it kind of opened up my horizons a little bit for what kind of solo boat I was going to get. And so yeah, so now I own Wenonah because, like I said, this was just at 20% of the cost of a brand new boat for this. It was worth the drive to Wapaka even to pick it up, just because it was such a good deal. And once I play around and refurbish it a little bit, it will suit my needs perfectly. So the fact that we are out here today, and it is stinking December, well, next Sunday, a week from tomorrow, is Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. So I think today is the 16th of December, and here we are in northern Wisconsin in one of the most mild winters that we've ever had. So I drove by here yesterday and noticed there was open water, and I said, we're going to do this. And if it stays like it's supposed to, we potentially could have open water in 2 weeks on New Year's Day, which to me would be awesome because I have never paddled a canoe in January. Boy, she moves along nice. This is a smooth ride. Now, if you see how calm the water is, this is not a normal day. I'm going upstream right now, actually, and just moving along at a pace. It's great. Kind of getting the feel of this canoe. In order to J-stroke it and what, it's a little bit different than, it'll take me some trips just to to figure it out. Now Corona, when Ryan and I take that tandem canoe out, we can paddle that through about anything. There go the geese. They've been shot at, I'm guessing, a few times. So the one thing I've learned on this boat already, it is a bit slower of a turn. It's not the fastest turning boat. That pack boat that I have, that thing, if you're in calm water like this, you can basically do donuts with it. This one's a little bit long. It's longer. It's just, and I knew that. The other thing on the pack boat on Katniss is the tumble home on it is not really good. This is a narrower canoe too here, so I don't have to. I can paddle with it a lot easier. Where with Katniss, you really need to have a I mean, you have to have a kayak paddle. It's just really the only way to do that. There, we've hit a little wind. That's good. I wanted to hit some wind and current. I want to see how she works. All right, I'm going to switch paddles. Yeah, I don't care what guys say, and I'm not the best J-stroker. I understand that. But the speed difference between a single blade and a double blade, I don't care what they say, it's significantly different. Here we are. We've turned around. What a beauteous day. Absolutely gorgeous. We went up past the 46 bridge, and now we're just kind of lollygagging our way back down. But this has been a great paddle. I'm in love with the boat already. Did crunch a little bit of ice, but I'm guessing I could have went quite a bit further. I just want to kind of get home, and I mean, it is the end of December. But yeah, so we'll just keep paddling around, and here we are. Beautiful day, as is every day for a paddle. All right, we're almost home. So some of this ice floated in. Well, that would be ice that we're hearing. It just makes it more fun. So we got to come around. What a beautiful day. Again, only criticism I have of this boat is it's not a real fast turner, but I knew that coming into it. That's what all the reviews said, so it makes up for it in stability. Now we want to make sure we don't run her aground on that cement, so I'm going to come along sideways. Thank you for coming along with me. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.